Hello, everyone. Today, I have a special guest, Jason. He's a stand-up comedian, and he's the founder of Two Jokes Minimum, one of the best places for comedians inside and outside the US. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thanks for having me, man.
And I'm so happy to have you here. I really enjoy your materials.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, how often does it take you to write a joke usually, or every joke just takes depend on the luck?
Uh it depends on how deep I get with it. I don't have like a time, I kind of just go with the flow, really.
Okay, and when do you know that the joke is done? This joke is I don't need to work on it anymore. It's done.
To me, it's never done. I'm always looking to improve my material. There are jokes that I've been working on since day one that I still take feedback and suggestion and always looking to improve. So to me, it's never done.
That's cool. And where do you have? Okay, for sure. But they say that when you do, for example, Netflix special, you cannot do your jokes anymore.
Yeah, some places, if you are booked, you sign over your rights to your material. Um, yeah, there's a lot of places that do that.
I mean, like, would you consider, like, for example, doing Netflix special and then you have to start working on whole new materials? Like, plan that, okay, I'm gonna make materials for 1 hour. I'm gonna do shows as much as I can and then put it in Netflix and then start working from the scratch.
I don't know. I've never really been in that position, so I guess I'd have to deal with it as it comes. But I have a lot of the newer material, so there's always material that you can work on. You should always be writing. Always be writing.
That's good. And like, for example, do you visualize yourself uh, in where do you see yourself? Like, do you have vision that you are like, this is where I want to be one day?
I want to continue to work on comedy, and I'm open to any changes. I'm open to any opportunity being presented, but I don't worry about it until I'm in that situation. Otherwise, you can discourage yourself. You can decide you want to give up, because if you put expectation on what your goal is, you're only setting yourself up for failure when it doesn't. So I imagine a goal, but then I also leave myself open to that plan changing. It's not the journey; it's the the destination. So
But like, I don't know, like, it's a little bit weird because each comedian has different goals. Like some comedians, they don't even want to be famous on social media, but they want to be like traveling and going everywhere. Like, I don't know, do you know the comedian Ron White?
yes, yes.
So he's like he's not so much in social media. Like he doesn't have, like, for example, there are comedians who are very famous in social media, in Netflix. He's so funny, but he's not famous. So do you consider like being just so funny and you want only the community of comedy to know you, or you want to go outside the community of comedy and just the fame of comedy?
That's an interesting question. because I believe, this is just my opinion, if you want to be in the shadows and you don't want to be on social media, maybe this career is not for you. Because the more people know you, the more you expand your base of fans and people who are watching you. That's gonna be how you get your work. The more you have a following, the more people know about you, the more you're going to get booked, the more you're going to network and expose yourself, get more opportunities. So when you do it that way and you want to be private as to me, then it's more of like a hobby. This is not a career. You're not
Mhm.
looking to build it. You're just doing it because you love comedy. And there's nothing to say that there's anything wrong with that. But if you want as a sustainable career in comedy, people have to know who you are. And with social media changing, that's the tool that a lot of people are using to get themselves known. A lot of comedians are doing TikTok. I know, some people live on that. They say, if you want to do anything, you have to be on TikTok. You have to do so. You have to have a presence, and you have to be active, and people have to know who you are. So if that's not something that you're interested in, then maybe comedy is just a hobby, or maybe this industry in any form, where singing, acting, playing an instrument, it's all based on who knows you rather than who you know, because who you know is only going to get you so far. It's all about who knows you and what they can follow and what content they can get. So
Yeah, that's true. And for example, like for TikTok or Instagram, you, I mean, like what I think is that comedians could like put one joke or two that they know it's too funny, so people can see the, like can laugh from this jokes or this one joke on or the other one. I don't think that it's good idea to keep saying your jokes in social media, because you need your audience or your fans when you go and you do show to hear it for the first time and to be surprised. And I think maybe you can find another ways to attract people, but what do you think?
I think if you use an old joke that people have heard multiple times, then that's good to use as content. But if you take your entire set, which I've seen, and you post the entire 5 or 10 minutes online, this is not good for you, because if
Exactly.
it's not well known, people are going to say, "Oh, well, I heard it already, so I'm not going to go to Muhad's show because I've heard his jokes. Yeah, it's funny, but I'm not going to go pay." So there's certain like level of mysteriousness, I think, that you have to keep in your career, and not give people. It's like the movies. You don't want to give too much in the trailer.
Sure.
Otherwise nobody's going to go see the movie. So you have to give people just enough, and I would say use old material that lands, and that one or two jokes, and that's it.
Sure. So I like your that you said it's like when you have movie, you're not gonna put the whole movie, but you're gonna put something that attracts people and make them even think more. What's like you would give joke and they would how to say, like you would give a short joke but they will make the people question who is his family, what happened to his dad, what's going
Yeah,
on with his life. Yeah, I like that that idea and not just putting everything. um, I was listening to one famous comedian, but I forget his name, and he said that, for example, most of the comedy, like let's say you watch in Netflix, if you put it in um, open mic or especially in Hail Mary, it will bomb. But it's like you have to find your audience, and that's the challenge that you have to find your audience, you have to find your fans. What do you think?
I think there's truth to that. I think it's the job of the comedian to find that connection with the audience. Um, and it's not always so easy to make that connection. And I think rather than looking at a joke that's failed or look at a joke that I don't think is very good, I just haven't found a way to connect with the audience. So it's not, some people like to blame the audience. Oh, the audience wasn't good tonight. I don't think that that's necessarily always true. I think that you just have to find a way to describe it. You have to change, and that's when they say reading the audience. Maybe this joke won't work right now for this type of room, or maybe I need to enter this joke or approach this joke differently than I normally would because this is a different audience. So you have to kind of like, it's always so important to pay attention to the show before you go up, because maybe someone tells a similar joke like you tell and it doesn't work. So now you can come up with another plan of attack. It's like war. You got to go out on the chessboard and you got to figure out, okay, this move didn't work out there before. This is the move I'm going to use now. So very important to pay attention what's going on in the show from the big comedians ahead of you, or if you are early up in the show, listen to the audience. What are they responding to? You know, um, and always have material as a backup. That's why it's always important to continue to write, because if your material's not working, change gears. Maybe the theme's not working. Don't keep trying to drive home a point that people are like, I don't get it, I don't think that's funny, and we're not connecting that way. So it's always good to have secondary material just in case, because you never know.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also want to, for example, let's say fluffy audience or the people who likes fluffy are so
You
different.
mean Gabriel
Yes,
Iglesias?
yes. I would say like they are so different than, for example, the audience of, let's say, Joe Rogan. I feel like you would even be surprised if you see their lifestyle. It's like, I feel like maybe Joe Rogan audience, people maybe who is fascinated with the UFC and maybe smokes weed, most of them. And fluffy audience, maybe like they have different lifestyle. I don't know. But do you feel that you feel who's your audience? Did you start to develop that feelings that when I talk to people or when I see how they dress or how they look, I can feel that, oh, this is my audience? Or some people you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm not getting along with them.
Uh Boy, you hit the really hard questions. um I think that at least I try to include everyone. I try to offer something for no matter. I try to do the dumb jokes. I try to do the smart jokes. I try to do the conservative jokes. I try to do liberal jokes. I don't try to do one thing. I try to do observational, anecdote, one-liners, impressions. Musical, vocal, and you've seen my set. So I try to do a little bit of everything. I don't care to be known for one particular thing.
Do you have Instagram? I
I
will.
do.
I will. So how do you try to grow your Instagram?
I don't. I'm pretty bad at that.
Mm.
I'll be perfectly honest. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty bad at that when it comes to maintaining my social media, just because two joke minimum just takes so much of my time.
Okay, like I think that podcast is a good way to grow your social media. Not this one, because not too many people will watch it, but
They
hopefully.
will one day. They're gonna learn. They're gonna understand. Oh, you know what? Muhammad has the best podcast. He asks the best hard questions.
Yeah, but I also think, like as I told you, like I'm also still don't know who's my audience, but I feel like this is part of when you, in a way, at the end you have to be yourself, and also it helps to social media because you are able to communicate with your audience. And for example, you can post about your dogs or about the universe, and your audience will always be interested to you can be even like comedians should be influencer or no.
They can be. You know, the other thing is that I don't really get too crazy into my personal views because like now people like people sometimes misinterpret. People uh, will put a belief that you're not saying on you, and you know they just go through your social media and they say, "Oh, Muhammad said this 6 months ago," and you know there's a lot of people that they're not there to support you. They're there to tear you down. That's why it's so important on what you post. It's so important uh, who you surround yourself in your comedy career, because some people will pretend to be your friends and some people will actually be your friends. So you have to decide which is which, and you have to decide what is what is the content that I'm posting that represent me, and what is it saying, and how are people going to interpret that. So I take a lot more time to look at what it is I'm posting these days, because it can be misconstrued to something else.
Mm-hmm. I just want to tell you that it's a little bit weird that even there were things before like 10 years, 15 years, okay, now it's not okay. Or there were things not okay, now it's okay. So what I'm saying with this is that people will always have things to do. And this is my opinion. And I think that as comedian, you have to piss off some people because some people will not like the truth. Always you will not be able to make everyone happy, and you need to have the loyal audience will stay for you. The haters, you don't need them, and when they talk about you, people will know you. So you have to take the hard road if you want to satisfy everyone. I think it's just hard.
You know, I agree with that, and I don't. I do agree with it in the sense that, yeah, you have to be true to yourself, but you have to ask yourself on the other end of it, is it necessary? Is this something that is going to help bring me to the next level, or is this going to be something that's going to hold me back and prevent me from getting booked? So you have to know the difference of what's helping and what's hurting.
So you told me yesterday that you tried to help comedian getting booked.
Yes.
So let's say, for example, I'm comedian now in, let's say I'm now in New York. How would you help me if I contact with you?
Well, I would look at your material and see if you were a good fit for a two joke minimum show. Um, and I also do the feedback mic, you know, and I offer a video, and I try to edit in a way so that if they are happy with the product and they have a good video, they can still submit it to other bookers and producers, and hopefully they can get booked.
So yeah, that's cool that you. It's a little bit weird because you can make record of yourself and send it and nobody will book you, but you can have one and everybody will just be like, wow, you are. So it's even tricky for you when you see other comedians' audio because
Yeah,
everyone will give you the best moment.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit. So you would look to see, so you will ask for specific minutes. How many minutes you will ask for?
I ask for usually like 5 minutes. Realistically, I'll probably watch about two, 2 to 3 minutes of the video.
Like you will watch the first two, or you will go to the middle and then to the end?
I will watch as much as I possibly can. If I'm not sure, I'll try to skip around and watch, the whole set, like you said, from start, middle, and finish. But the rule of thumb is if I'm not engaged into your set within the first minute and a half, I'll consider just being like, not this particular time.
That's cool. And you will value the video based on the laugh that you hear, or you will judge it by yourself? You will be like, okay, this works, this gonna be funny.
It's a mixture of all of it. It's a mixture of, do I want this material to represent two joke minimum? Because people forget when you're also producing, the comedians you have on your show represent your brand. So they're speaking on the behalf of two joke minimum. So do I want this comedian to represent what two joke minimum stands for? Or do I want, you know, stuff like that. So I'll kind of look to the audience. I'll look to your stage presence, your body language, and how I feel as I'm watching it.
But Jason, why not, for example, your shows can be diverse and you can show people that, for example, I'm not sure what do you think that this should represent two jokes minimum or not. I'm not talking about COVID vaccines, and we don't have to discuss this, but let's say, or let's talk about Trump. For example, why not you can have two comedians in your show that have two different opinions, and they are both making these opinions funny and make sense. Like, I mean, it's hard to for you, because some people might say it funny, but you might say it not funny for your show. So why not make your show, as long as he's funny, as long as he's making sense, talk?
It is definitely diverse, and I have had people that are probably Trump supporters, and I've had people that are probably Obama supporters. You know, I I guess I didn't explain that correctly. It's not necessarily who you voted for politically. I would have a Trevor Noah versus a Nick DiPaolo or Joe Rogan on the show. That's not what I meant by representation. I meant material quality wise. If you have a funny joke that makes fun of Obama or Biden, I'm not going to tell you, oh, you can't be on the show because this is your
Okay,
position.
cool.
But it has to be funny and it has to be clever. You know what I mean? In order to represent, because comedy is subjective at that point. So if I think if you can get me to laugh at something that I oppose because I'm not a Trump supporter, if you can get me to laugh at a Joe Biden joke and make a joke about how Trump is better, and I think it's funny, then yes, I'm gonna book you because that's comedy.
Okay, that's good, because I feel like, um, let's say me and you and who I'm gonna bring, Oppa, in an island. We are only alone, and then Oppa will be like, "This is allowed," and you will be like, "No, this is not allowed." So I just feel that it's weird when some humans decide that you can do this or you cannot do this, or this is right or this is wrong. I just feel that you can't, because you don't know even where we come from. Like we were talking yesterday, like you asked me if why do I think I like women's, and why other people they think they like men. Yes, there is some science. We are analyzing humans brain more. Maybe in the future we will know, but so far we don't even know ourselves.
Yes. Well, the context of that conversation, I'm not going to dredge up again, but I will say, yeah, we don't know ourselves and why we do things and why we react or why we like something, which is so important as a comedian to figure out who you are and what the message is that you're trying to convey to people. Um, and that's when you become a stronger performer, is when you know who you are and what your purpose and what your end game is. So
Yeah, and I like sometimes to question things, and I'm like, why do we feel this way? Like, for example, we have married, and some people, then we have kids, and then, like, I mean, just we live in certain rules. We live in society that has, we have to do this, and then we have to do this. We cannot do this. We have to wear this, and it's just confusing, especially now with the internet. You were born in New Jersey, and you
New
only
York,
knew
but
New
yeah.
York, sorry. You are now in New Jersey. So you are like, with the internet, it makes people see that other people are living different life, having different beliefs, and that makes people to be more open-minded for other things and possibilities.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, humans, we overthink things. That's what's great about comedy, is because we take all of these ideas and concepts and we just put it into one thing and we get people to think about it. You can be a herald of the world as a comic. You can be an influencer. It all depends on what style you're looking for and the message that you're trying to put out there. Um, is so important. That's why it is especially important to not put your material out there, because as a new comic, maybe you are not so good at describing these thoughts and opinions and feelings. And there will be people out there to say, "Oh, well, you know what? I don't agree with that," and that's wrong for you to think that. Um, so it's very very important to know yourself and navigate all the stuff that's going on in the world. There's quite a bit of stuff going on outside of even just a pandemic or a COVID, um, and have been going on before COVID ever was a thought. So it's very important to figure out what it is you're saying. That's the theme of all of this, I guess. It's just knowing yourself.
Look, Jason, they say that every action you do now, or whatever you say now in this conversation, it depends on how you've been programmed, where you lived, and what people spoke to you and formulate information in your mind. So, and also we talk that we don't even know where we came from. Like, there is no evidence. We don't know ourselves. How do you navigate, or how do you build your decisions? How do you say, okay, this is wrong, this is right, no, I shouldn't do this? What's your guideline?
I'm gonna pull this up. I was doing some cleaning, and I found this yearbook from junior high school, and my grandmother, in the jokes that I've told that you've heard, wrote something, and I'm gonna share it, which pertains to that question that you just asked. It says,
Hmm.
"Find out things on your own. Otherwise, your life will be cluttered with half-baked ideas and hand-me-down beliefs." So the answer is, as my grandmother raised me and taught me to do, is to investigate things on your own. Don't go by what other people. And that's the problem now in the world, is that we don't find out things for our own. We find things out from our friends and our family, or whatever culture. For the longest time, I didn't subscribe to religion because I felt that it just, and that was to all religions. There was just a point where I just felt like, people act based on their religion instead of figuring out for themselves what the right thing is to do. They need to be told, and I didn't want to participate in that. But there's good and bad in religion. There's good and bad. Like I feel like there's no difference sometimes between people who practice religion religiously, no pun intended. Um, there's no difference between that and supporting a sports team. If you're not with me, then you're not with me. You stay over there. Or if you're not with me, we're going to destroy you. Or you could be, yeah, we're the same. So come over here. Your family. And I think that, like you said, you touched on it before. It's culture and the way you were raised in your household. That's where, to get a little deeper. I mean, listen, nobody grew up racist ever. I believe that nobody ever grew up racist or prejudiced. These are things that were sometimes taught within your household, based on stereotypes. And that's especially in my background as a Black person. You know, uh, that's how all of this has begun, is that someone decided, hey, Black people do this and Black people do that, so you better stay away from them. But nobody grew up, nobody was born with these thoughts in their minds. Their family or somebody who was severely insecure passed down these ideologies and concepts. So yeah, it's belief is a very dangerous thing sometimes if you don't keep yourself informed. So you have to go out and study things on your own.
I agree with you, and just to follow up what you said, that I think we are all were born as kids, and nobody was racist, nobody was bad person, nobody was thief, nobody was killer, nobody was hater, and then we start getting programmed. I really love what your grandmom wrote, and I want to ask you, like, so you believe that if we follow our gut, if we try to judge things with by honest, we have to be honest with ourselves. Do you think that will answer most of the questions? Do you believe in humans that if we judge things and we just follow our hearts, find things by ourselves, that's the way to go?
I do think it's a way to go, but I think the bigger picture is that, and this is what everybody doesn't understand, is everybody's fearful. Everybody's afraid, whether you're going up on stage or if you're about to perform open heart surgery or you're about to do that foul shot that's gonna, win the game, 3 seconds on the clock, buzzer's about to go off. No matter what situation you're in, you're always afraid. Um, and with what you just are talking about, if you are able to understand that you are fearful, this is going to make things much easier, because you're going to know what your fear is and you're going to know how to deal with it. And it's not in life not to get rid of fear, but learn how to understand and use it as a tool rather than use it as a weakness.
Okay, I got you. I want to also come back to the point again. What I'm trying to ask you is, um, for example, if every human follow the voice that comes from inside them and try to be honest, will everybody end up to be good? Or do you think that some people, there is demons inside them and they will never be good, and even all the voices inside them is just bad? Because, or do you think that we have bad voices and we have good voices and we have to listen to the good voices, and it's even hard but every human has good voice and bad voice, and it's hard to listen to the good voice, but you can't judge? Or do you think that some humans have only bad voice and they will never be able even to judge or find the right thing to do?
Neither. Neither. I don't think there's either such thing. And it's weird to listen to myself think about this because I don't think that they're necessarily, we defined these titles, good and bad, husband and wife, like all of this stuff we man has made. Um, what I think is that there's actions that benefit some people and actions that benefit other people or no one at all. And I think that it's not necessarily a particular thing of good or bad. I think it's just circumstances. Uh, in the movies, the bad guy always believes he's doing the right thing, but who's to say what the right thing really is, if that makes sense?
I think it's easy, Jason, with some things. Like, for example, if you steal,
Sure.
is that bad? Is there, do you think that some people, if they listen to themselves and if they try to follow the nice voice inside them, they will not steal? Or do you think that some people don't even have it and they cannot even judge themselves?
Well, let me put it to you in these terms. Have you ever seen the show Les Miserables?
No.
It's a very good play. You should check it out. And there's some movies and stuff that they did. Les Mis is about a man who's poor. He cannot take care of himself. He can't even take care of his daughter. The mother. Well, he took care of one of his workers' daughters and adopted him to himself, but he couldn't pay the bills, so he stole some bread and he got caught and he went to jail. Do you think this makes him a good person, or do you think this makes him a bad person?
It gets weird, man.
So, like I said, I think it's set circumstances because maybe you rob the bank because you can't pay your mortgage on your house and you can't feed your family. Doesn't make him a bad person or a good person, you know? So it's like truth is subjective.
That's really weird. How about you when you do your actions? So you just do what your grandmom said. You just, do you think you are good judge, like when you do your
Try
decisions?
to be a good person. I wouldn't say that I am a good person. I try to do. I don't. I try to do esteemable things today. I try to. I try to do the right thing that I believe in myself to be the right thing. And then sometimes people will pull me aside. Hey Jay, that's not the right thing. And I look at it and I say, no, they're right. Oh no, they're wrong. But we have to listen to ourselves, and that's why it's always important to have good positive people around us, so that if we are doing the wrong thing, even if we believe we're doing the right thing, they pull you aside. Muhammad, that's not the, you can't do that.
Yeah, and some people they just feel that they already develop a strong personality to be able to judge themselves what's good, what's wrong, and they just don't care about others and they are just happy with themselves. And I think that's what's the most important, to be happy. So how do you keep happy? How do you keep hope? How do you like, because without hope, without being happy, without having, like, that's how we live, I think, that you have something to live for.
I try, I try to live outside of myself. In order to do for myself, I have to do for others. In order to continue getting, I have to give. You know, I do believe in karma. I do believe in paying it forward. I do believe in helping people. And the more chances that you network, that's why it's also important, yet again, bringing it full circle about, if you want to be in comedy, you have to meet as many people as you possibly can. And you can do that by helping others, by introducing yourself, build a room, build a following, and you try to help those people in the following. And I have truly been blessed and given so much by trying to help others, and it's in return to me. And I don't look for things to be given to me, but they do happen, you know. And I think that's the thing. If you genuinely try to do good for others and you don't expect then things return, that's when the most is going to happen. But if you're only doing it looking to see who's watching you, people tend to see if it's genuine or not, and they say, oh no, Jason's just trying to get my attention, and Jason's just trying to look out. And you see it, you know, it's very obvious, especially in comedy. You see who the people who are genuine, and you see the people who are just trying to pull the wool over your eyes and get you to work with them. So I try to be the one that gives back as much as possible.
Yeah, it's I think like many people believe that you should love others, and that's key of happiness, because some people think that we are connected in a weird way, like all humans. What do you think, like, in your opinion, what do you think, like, are we in black hole? Are we in another dimension? Are we in another time? Or do you think there is heaven, hell, someone is watching us up there? Or do you think we just evolved with all this bombing? And
I don't know. I honestly don't know. If I was going to take a guess,
yep.
sorry, my dog's barking. um, I think that, sorry.
Don't worry, he's not bothering. I barely hear the dog.
So I think that it has a lot to do with
Now he's coming. Yeah.
I don't know. This is a tough question. Could be anything. I think that it is sort of like, you know, you drop a pebble in some water, right? And what happens? You have sort of like the ripple, you know. And I think that there's just different universes within each ripple, but they're somehow oddly connected. Uh, Also, I think that we're tied to organisms and atoms and all pieces of matter. Who's to say that we're not a flake of the whole galaxy and universe is a flake of dust under somebody's fingernail? I mean, you never know. I mean,
Isn't it weird?
so there's organisms everywhere. So it's kind of hard to, you know, these are not, you know, truthful things. They're all hypotheses that I've heard and read about, and I can subscribe to it. It makes sense if we were just a small, you know, piece of dirt or a strand of hair on a dog. You know, like, you never know what
Crazy.
yeah. What do you think about that?
So for me, I think that we are bacteria in Earth, and that's why for example, let's say you are artificial intelligent and you are flying to see Earth. You would see green, you would see animals, but then when you see humans, what we are actually doing is, making cars, destroying the trees to make toilet paper and wipe our ass, and like causing pollution, uh, fucking the sea, throwing dirt in the sea. So I just think that we are really bacteria in Earth, and we are here to destroy it. Like in a way, like, let's say in your body you are sick, somewhere in your body is doing some wrong stuff, and that's what we are doing to Earth.
A very interesting way to look at it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's interesting to look at it that way.
How do you feel about Mars? Because okay, it's not in our lifetime, but in and I think thousands years, the earth will be destroyed. That's like, I don't know how to say it, but in a way, the sun is coming in a ways that earth will be wiped out. And Mars, Mars, you have met him in Hail Mary. We are talking about Mars, yeah. So maybe they are saying that humans should be multi planet species, and that's how we will survive longer, even if the Earth will not be vanish now in our lifetime, but we should start from now. What do you think?
Uh, that's all projection for me. I don't try to project in the future. First off, one, I'm gonna be dead. So we're talking about like if I was to have a family now, uh, that would be several generations down the road. So I mean, it's possible that could be the case, and that's what we need to do. I'm sure there are many more interested people who are working on that right now, and I will trust their judgment on the fact that maybe we need to figure out how to relocate. I know they're working on that now, and I know that's something that I think Elon Musk has been working with, with the space program with that. Um, yeah, that's I don't know. That's a terrifying thought that I did.
I think it's about, do you care about humans to survive for a long time? But as you said, like, you will care about maybe your kids, your grandkids, maybe another two generations. Then the rest, like, you don't care, even if they all get vanished. Or do you care about human race and all your generations to
I mean, I
survive?
do care about human race, but I know no matter where we go, okay, we screwed up one planet, so let's go hop to another planet and screw that one up too. Like that's what we do. Humans by nature, like you even said before, destroy. We build things just to destroy it. I'm sure if there are is any intelligent life, the intelligent life is millions light years ahead in intellect, and I believe that, and I'm pretty sure we're probably the dumbest out of all of the galactic species because we keep making the same mistake of just building and destroying, building and destroying, building and destroying. Well, I shudder to think about over the time of human civilization. If you think about in the Arcadian years, they had plumbing, they had air conditioning. In Egypt, they were doing brain surgeries and stuff, and people were surviving. And there were libraries over years that have been destroyed and burned to the ground. If we had that information still carried on and passed down from generation, where would we be as a society today? Would cars be flying? Would we already be on another planet? So, the thing is that we just destroy ourselves. No matter, we don't care if it affects humanity. There are things that we probably could have cures for today, like maybe no one would ever get cancer. Maybe we would have fully abolished AIDS. My mother has sickle cell anemia. Maybe that wouldn't exist. Who knows how one action can affect an entire world or civilization.
Yeah, I guess now I will ask you another question, and I feel what's your answer will be. I feel like you are open-minded and you are not sure about anything, which is the best place to be. But do you think, I like just to ask people, like, do you think the Earth is flat or like both?
No, no, I don't think the world is flat. I think it's like any other planet that's round. I don't know why we still have this flat Earth thing that not scientifically it's not supported. Like if you do the math of measuring the Earth and stuff, it just doesn't. Wouldn't we have like fallen off the planet by now? Like somebody would have fallen off the planet.
You, if it's what you say doesn't make sense if the Earth is
It's
circle.
flat. It's just flat. Like, wouldn't we have fallen off by now? Like, I don't
Oh,
understand.
you mean the end? Fuck. You mean to go to the end and then jump?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know why people would think the Earth is was flat. That especially now with technology and with satellites and everything, it's proven that the Earth is sphere shaped. So
Yeah, again, man, it's crazy because there is nothing you can be sure about. It's all like we just get from them. I
well,
don't know.
as humans, we love conflict. So Muhad, if you say up, I have to say down. If you say left, I gotta say right. And that's just how, as people, we love. There's some people that love this kind of conflict. There are some people who like to make up lies, which is why the media has made a lot of money off of just coming up with things that they know aren't true. There's some people that just like to gaslight things. They always have to be the opposite of what you're saying, whether they know it's the truth or not.
So, do you have a source where you trust to listen to?
I listen to everything. I will go to CNN. I will go to Fox News. I will go to CNBC. I mean, I'm sorry, MSNBC, not CNBC. Reuters. I watch all of it, and I take each bit of information and decide what I feel is the truth amongst all of it, or I'll read, or
So
I'll
you
read.
will decide the truth. You,
Yeah,
that's again like that's why I like. I mean, like all these questions, and I would just like to know what people think and what people do. But I like to do real things. Like I like, for example, to do comedy and write, and that's what I keep my mind busy with because it's real. You are writing something, and then people are laughing. Uh,
yeah.
I like, for example, to stretch because okay, I know I stretch, my muscles feel better. So I would always keep busy with things like I feel to live in theories and as they say like conspiracy theories. Is the earth flat? Is the earth rounded? Where we come from? I only like to know what people think, but it's dangerous to live like this. Even for example with the vaccines, like some people just live in theory, conspiracy theories, and it's just your brain goes off because nobody knows. So I like to do real things. So what other real things you like to do beside comedy to make you to keep your
I
mind?
just want to address that, there is information on the vaccines and other things, is that, science and math back all of that. Some people don't want to believe in that, whether it's their conspiracy or religion, and I'm not putting any of that down. But there are answers now. Whether you choose to subscribe to those answers is up to you. Other things that are real. Music, man. I love music. I love all types of music. I like to listen to music. If you listen to my playlist, it's so many different kinds of music, like reggae, salsa, merengue, jazz, funk, classic rock, 50s doo-wop, 80s new wave, rap, hip hop, pop, movie scores, the list goes on. I can't even remember all of the types of genres that I like. And I got that from my family. See, so there are some good things that you can learn through experience of your family and friends, and I picked up an eclectic taste from my parents, who always taught me to listen to other types of music and food. Oh, I love food. uh love food, love I love Mediterranean food, man. I love yeah, you know, listen, I like the halal food. I like Greek food. I love you know, Chinese food, South American food. I'll try anything at least once. That's food is truth to me, because you
Exactly.
can't make make pretend with food. Either it's real or it's not.
Or
So
conspiracy.
there's no conspiracy behind food.
Yeah. Can you cook? Do you like to cook delicious food? Do you like to eat what your hands
I
make?
like to cook. I just don't like to clean.
What's if I come to you, what's something delicious you will make?
It depends. I make good pasta. I love barbecuing. Oh man, I love to barbecue. Chicken or steaks. Pork. You know, uh, as I said, not a good Jew, so yes, I will grill some pork.
Your
Uh,
parents?
yes, to them too. They're worse than I am. My dad is worse than I am when it comes to pork. Um, Yeah, it's funny. There was a guy, he's Muslim. I used to work with him. He was a chef. And we had a barbecue one time. We invite him over, and he's from Jordan. Uh, he's a very good guy, and he's an excellent cook. So one time he came over, he made chicken skewers and he made pork skewers. He came with his own grill. We had a grill already, but he came with his own grill, and he made the food. And we tried the pork, and it was so good, and it was so juicy and tender, and the seasoning was perfect. And I said, Mark, that's not really his name, but Mark, I said, how did you get this to taste so perfectly and so tender? He said, you didn't even taste it because you don't eat pork. How do you make it like this? And he says, don't worry. I know how to make it, and that was it. But he made this pork taste so delicious, even though he never eat pork.
But man, it's weird. Uh, Pork is delicious, man, and also it's weird for me when some people would drink alcohol but not eat pork, because in Islam, for example, alcohol and pork is not allowed. So some people would drink alcohol but not eat pork, or some people would cook pork but not eat pork. Some people wouldn't even cook pork and wouldn't even eat pork. So it's just so weird. I also, do you want to say something on that?
I mean, I know some people that they don't, they won't even serve alcohol to people at work. I think, in my opinion, there's got to be some sort of mitzvah, as we would say in the Jewish religion, where God would overlook the circumstances, as like a reprieve, like only under these conditions is it maybe okay. um but that's not for me to decide for them. But yeah, there's some people, they don't feel comfortable with it. That's their religion. They don't want to be exposed around. uh some people believe in religion as God to be so tough. It's not a God I would want to pray to personally, because it's way too tough. I don't think, for me, my God is not so ruthless.
Yeah. That's tough. Do you drink? Do you get drunk
No,
smoking?
no,
So you are just sober all the time.
yes.
And like, do you do the like? What motivates you to do this? Do you think you are a good
Uh,
person, or?
I just realized that I needed to start doing things that serve me in what I want to do in my life. If it's not drinking, it does not serve me in any fashion.
Hmm.
Yeah, is it sometimes a good time, but especially that I'm getting older now, I don't care to party. I don't, this is the only thing people do when they're drinking, they're out partying. I'm in my late 30s. I'm not trying to party, at the most, have a fruitful career, maybe a wife and a family, and you're not going to get that out, partying and drinking and stuff. So
Hey, you never know. Some people, I like these stories when like, where did you meet your wife? In the club. We were drunk, we fuck, we get married, we have kids now. And some of them works.
listen, I'm turning 37, man. I'm too old to be in a club.
I I I meet married couple in the church. I mean I went one time in my life, and there were two married couple who brought me, and I'm like, wow, guys, where did you meet? Jehovah, to be honest. They are like, come, come. So I went, and there were two couples. I'm like, guys, where did you meet? They're like, we were drunk in the club, and then we decided to be both Jehovah. So now we are all here in the church. I'm like, that's a good beginning from the club and ending in the church.
That
Good
must have been a
story.
bad night for them to decide that they wanted to become not only religious, but they wanted to become Jehovah Witness. I want to hear more about what happened that night than them converting to a religion. There's a lot of material there.
But Jason, did you used to drink and party and then you changed? Like how do you like how much did you change since you were young and then when you grow?
I've changed a lot. Yeah, I did. I partied. But I didn't like it. You know, yeah, I just found, like I said, it just wasn't something after a while, it was just something I just didn't enjoy.
So you used to
And the
give
people,
drink.
yeah, I used to drink, and I didn't like the people I was surrounding myself with the partying. So it just, I just had to change the people I surrounded myself around, and do things that focus on, pushing my career further.
That so did you how did you shift for like when you were young, what was your interests? What did you wanna be? And now how did these
I
things
always wanted to be a performer.
you always wanted to be this since you are young.
Yeah, yeah,
That's cool. And
yeah.
now, how do you like choose your friends?
I choose my friends based on what they're doing, who they surround themselves around. Are they someone that is positive? Are they someone that surrender drama all the time? Uh, stuff like that. Are they open-minded? Are they looking to improve themselves? These are very important key things to me. If you are stagnant and you're not doing something to learn or expand your mind, or you're surrounded by around people who also are not doing a whole lot, or you're negative all the time and you're saying, Muhad does this and Muhad does that, and that's all I'm hearing from you, then I say, you can stay over there. It's nothing personal, but I just
I got you. Look, I love to do like wrestling, kickboxing, going to the gym, and I do meet some friends there. I don't mind having good friends that I meet there, but I prefer and to have only comedian friends or to have my closest friends comedians, which is it's you never know who you're gonna fall in love with as a friend, but I think it's a gift to have cool comedians friends.
so I'm going to give you a piece of advice, and it's not the most popular thing. And I've said this to another comedian recently that most comedians are not your friends. And
Indeed.
that's just the way it is. they will pretend to be your friend for the just in case factor. Just in case Muhammad, gets famous, I want to be his friend so that when he's famous, I can ask him to give me opportunities. Now, you know,
Hmm.
you have to be careful with who you keep in your circle yet again. And that's another test. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to make it, but I don't rule that out. And now I'm at a point where, I'm becoming middle aged and I want to know if I get to that next level, who are the people that I'm going to continue to involve myself with as my career develops and expands and grows. Um, and it makes it difficult to have to make that choice. And there's some people that I still talk to that I know that if or when that happens, they're not going to go to the next level with me.
I don't know why I want to take your point view from another angle. What for me, I would like to have more comedians friends because okay, I'm not someone who's trying to use people, but as you said, some of them might be famous, some of them might have podcasts. So the more comedians you know, the more chances that you will like I don't know, I just took it from another angle. That why not I can be your friend, Oppa, Les, um Mark,
You're
Jerry.
confusing your intentions with other people's intentions. Your intentions might be good. Your intentions may say, I want to be a friend. But some people will pretend to have the same belief as you, but they don't. They're actors, always pretending to want the same thing as the other person. So that's why I told you that, I'm a little harder on who I'm keeping in my circle because there's always, especially if you're producing. For example, when I started Two Joke Minimum in comedy, I did not have a lot of comedy friends. Most people, when I went to open mics, they did not even want to talk to me.
Hmm.
And then there were some people that I was cool. I wouldn't say I didn't have any, but there was a large amount of people, they would not even talk to me. I start hosting one of the mics that I used to go to all the time. And then everybody, they want to know, can they get on the lineup? Where am I in the lineup? Can I see your phone? Because all the check-ins were on your phone. So they say, oh, can I see your phone? 3 months before that, you didn't even want to talk to me. But now, hey, how are you doing? Then I start producing and I get emails and DMs all times in the night. 3 o'clock in the morning, I would get DMs. Hey, man, haven't talked to you in a long time. Just wanted to see how you're doing. Hey, we hope you consider me for a spot on one of your shows in the future, man. Hope all is well. And these are coming from people, they don't even like your material, they don't talk to you, they don't respect you. But then because you're producing, now that everybody's your best friend, and that happens even as a comedian. If you, let's say, to next year, Muhammad, let's say you on the Jimmy Fallon show, right? Late night, Jimmy Fallon?
And I think I have heard of it, but I'm not so in. But
or
I
or
have
the
heard of it.
or Conan O'Brien or Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
So you do a spot on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Now everybody wants to be your friend. Hey Muhad, how's it going, man? I haven't talked to you in a long time, man. We should hang out soon. So you gotta be careful sometimes because people will pretend to be a wolf in sheep's clothing.
That okay. In a place where some people would pretend like this, how do you know or how do you select which one is having the wolf clothes, the sheep clothes, and
I,
he's
I look at the context that they're asking something or the context of when we're having a conversation. It's just really simple. Are they asking something? Are they reaching out to me all the time? Are they supporting me on social media? If it's somebody I've never hear from, they never like anything, they never check up to see how I'm doing, and then I post a milestone like, oh, I got booked on this show, or I'm headlining this, or blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden they want to drop a message in my private chat. These are the people I know that are just fishing for attention rather than. And another rule of thumb is if you can text me, and
Okay, you are good now. Say the other rule from the beginning.
yeah, you would just if you're in my phone and I can text you, that usually means that we are sometimes good friends. Not always. Sometimes it's business, but
Okay, but did you, so that's the other rule.
yeah.
Okay, and I think also like the more you grow, the more you can find the skills, or maybe even the more you get fucked up, the more you learn, and it's part of growing to find the skills to choose the right people.
Sure.
Um,
Sure. Yeah, that's another good way to go about it. Sometimes you just have to get beat up.
okay, so let's come again to the point where you said that now you feel that you are not looking for parties, you are looking for maybe wife and kids. Is that
Oh
how
boy.
you think now?
I don't know what's gonna happen, to be perfectly honest. I think that it's possible, but I don't know. I may very well have a family, or maybe with the way sometimes comedy even goes, sometimes maybe I end up just being on the road. What direction that's going to be?
Hmm.
I guess I was kind of just mentioning something that I guess I'd like to happen, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will happen. So
So, but that's even good start to go that you would like this to happen. Because for me, although I'm in relationship, but I'm still considering just to adopt, and it's scary to have kids.
is that like a personal choice? Is there a reasoning, or is that just preference?
Um, I think you are a little bit freezing, so I'm not sure. Okay, Jason, let's give it one more try. And if you keep freezing, I feel like we are lucky with how long we have got so far. Um,
No, I was saying, was that like a choice, or was this based on a preference of something that happened?
okay, so far my life been suck. Like I'm positive person, everything is good. But you know, like the war in Yemen, coming out of Yemen, family problems, dealing with paper. It's like nightmare my life since the war started in Yemen. Uh, so now I'm still thinking that it's better just to adopt, but I don't know, maybe if I become comedian, a good comedian, if I get to Canada, if I have good money, maybe I will be a different person and I will make different decisions. But now what I've been programmed on, I just want to adopt.
It sounds more of like financial status is a bigger part than anything.
Yes, financial, and I think that should take in consideration before having.
Oh, that's a big part, you know. Can I afford to take care of this child? I think that's the same if you adopt, you know, because
Okay, I will tell you something about adoption. There is a UFC fighter. I don't know if you know him. So he is white, and his wife is white, and they adopt. Uh, I don't know if I should say like they adopt a black kid, and it's I don't know why I just love him for this more than being UFC fighter. More like I just love the how he give photo to the environment. Sorry, to people and to his fans. Like when you see him, you believe in humanity and you believe that we are all people. And I also like the idea of adoption because there is already kids who might be abused in their life, especially women's, might be raped, might by some other man's, might. So I just like the idea that he did, and from there I start thinking also about adoption.
and that's very noble of you. uh I thought about it, you know, because I'm at the age where, you know, women, you know, they're very nervous about the biological. I have no reservations, extremely young, just for the sake of having a child. So if I,
Okay, I think you are cutting so bad, so I didn't even hear what you said last.
I said that I'm reaching a point where, you know, most women and I don't imagine myself trying to get involved with someone much younger than me. So chances are, if I'm going to get involved with someone closer to my age, I might have to adopt.
Mm. Yeah, man, it's I don't know. I just at the end I just say that we don't know where we came from. I don't know how you will feel to have kids. I don't know how I will feel tomorrow. But so far, I just loved that UFC fighter. Like they just look beautiful. Just when you see their photo, this family, he adopts someone from another race. They look happy. So it's even good image, and he inspired me. But it's tough decision. Let's see how things will go when I'm in Canada. Let's see how the relationship will go. As you said, the factory makes
Oh,
the factory. What?
are you moving there?
I'm moving hopefully this year,
Hmm.
but I want to end up in the US.
You'll have to. What about your girlfriend? Does she want to move to the US? Not to put you out there like that.
So I would be honest with you, like I like um, so my girl, she is trying to be now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So my girl, she's trying to build her. She's personal trainer, and she's trying now to make it online. So hopefully, it's like easier for her to move here and anywhere. And I think that she's nice. Like if there is some place that will be good for both of us, like let's say I'm not gonna move to the US unless there is a very good reason and very good place for my future. So I feel like we will be able to communicate and see what's best for both of us. She's a good communicator, so I'm not worried about that. Jason, I think you are free. You are freezing now, so maybe we just wrap it up. We've been doing it for almost 1 hour, which is good time.
Good communicator. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for having me on here, man. It's been fun, and thank you for asking me all these hard questions.
Jason, it's been really pleasure to have you here, and I will put down 2 jokes minimum. Really, it's a very good place to work on your materials, to find new punchlines. Sometimes the feedback is even much funnier than what you expect, and they work. So I will put that down, and thank you for everything. Thank you for hosting in Hill Mary. Thank you for doing 2 jokes minimum. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a good human. I really like you, Jason. I like your jokes. I like how open-minded you are. And
Same here, man.
I'm so happy just to know you.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a lot of fun, man.
Thank you, Jason. And I hope to see you more and more in the open mics until we
Oh, you will. You will.
meet in
You
real life.
don't. You have your own mics. I'm sure you're going to do a pop-up mic today, aren't you?
I already post before. It's going to be at 6 Eastern time, ECT.
I'm doing the clean room tonight. Maybe I'll try to hop in real quick.
Oh, okay. And let me know about tomorrow if I can register.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Thank you, Jason. God bless you. See you.
See you, man.
Bye.